Helmet, aka Baron Zemo, is confirmed to be in the new series Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How that may be, we still don't know after one episode. Spoiler warning ahead for everybody who has yet to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you haven't, what are you doing? Great series, highly recommend it. But definitely, so many questions arise when looking at what Baron Zemo's new role, returning in with his iconic comic book Purple Mask. This is going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy story. How they integrate him into the broader scheme of things. But this is breakdown banter, and this is our discussion of what Baron Zemo's role really will be in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so we got like 6 episodes of the show total, and we already saw one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was really expecting them to introduce Baron Zemo in that first, or reintroduce him really, because we saw him in Civil War. But when we were watching it together live on YouTube, so guys, if you're interested, check out our live streams. We start 1 hour before the show comes out. So that's 2 a.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we go all the way through the end of the episode, and then we give our reactions after as well. So I was expecting to see something teased about Baron Zemo in that first episode. Unfortunately, we did not get it, but that makes the anticipation rise as well.
We did get a little tease in Bucky's book that he was crossing off names, where he was, going through and saying, "I'm no longer the Winter Soldier. I'm here making amends." Blah blah. We do see B. Zemo or H. Zemo on that book, so there is a little reference that he's coming back, and we saw in the trailers. A Bucky pointing a gun at his head and then bullets falling to the floor. So we don't really know what's going to happen, but I believe he is going to have such a large role in this series. Whether he is the leader of the Flag Smashers, maybe he supplied a super soldier. He has supplied them with super soldier serum, so he runs a super soldier army. But that could be something crazy. I mean, let's take a look at the wiki so we could get some further information about how potentially this could be linked to Hydra in a way.
Yeah, so there's a lot of storylines with Helmet Zemo, Baron Zemo. Just to confirm, it's Baron Helmet Zemo. Baron's his first name, Helmet middle name, Zemo last name. Let's just call him Zemo. Okay, let's make it a little easier here, right? There's a lot of storylines that Marvel has had with him, as you could see from the extensive list of his history. A lot of them are very unrealistic for the MCU. They just do not fit. It revolves around some storylines that they've never introduced, but there are a few really curious, really interesting ones that they could pull from and obviously use some artistic liberty. And the one that I really wanted to highlight here, if I can find it, it's leader of the new Hydra. So after the Terrigen Mist hit planet Earth, creating new Inhumans in the process, Baron Zemo, with the help of other supervillain affiliates of Hydra, started recruiting some of these new beings. The rest of this they could change up a little bit, but the part that I want to highlight here is when the new Captain America, Sam Wilson, and his comrade Nomad try to neutralize Ecuador's Hydra base. Lucas was found by them attached to a machine that was draining by his blood, blah, blah, blah. The point is, without reading all of it out loud, is that Baron Zemo was starting a new Hydra organization after a mist hit planet Earth. Now, this mist, they are probably just going to adapt it and say that's the snap.
The 3 snaps on Earth.
Yeah, the 3 snaps on Earth, exactly. So obviously this is a slightly different storyline, but they could very easily just adapt it one to the other. Creating new Inhumans, is that what we've been theorizing about mutants coming into the MCU, even Inhumans, because we do know that either a movie or a show with Inhumans as the title is going to be coming out, so they could easily introduce them here, tease them a little bit, and that Baron Zemo is creating a new team, kind of a new Hydra, right? Leader of the new Hydra, while, and here's the kicker, Sam Wilson is taking up the role of Captain America.
Yeah.
It seems like if the pieces fit too perfectly together for this to not be right. And also, just hidden detail: Hyder's hidden base is in Florida. So, Jonathan, you and I might need to start looking around to see where these guys are hiding. But that's
Yeah,
just
you bring up some pretty good theories that could
Mhm.
potentially tie into MCU canon, but what I'm looking at here, and we will be breaking into what the Flag Smashers actually are they mutants or are they super soldiers
Mhm.
in another video. The point that I'm trying to get at here is Zemo in control? Because if he is, regardless of what they are an extremely powerful force and they should not be taken lightly. We saw that I mean, let's look in the past history of people who try to build super soldier armies. We saw with General Ross, he's been
Mhm.
trying for years, and it's about time that we see this portrayed properly in the MCU. Somebody actually does it correctly. He was part of the Abomination experiment, giving him super soldier serum ish, and then he was mixed with Hulk's blood, and then the Hulk was a freak gamma ray accident. He was confident he was testing on himself, but General Ross was overseeing that as well. So this could be some kind of scenario where he gets his hand on some super soldier serum and he's able to replicate it, and he makes a full army of these kind
Mhm.
of villains. So this could be really, really one of the biggest threats we've seen in the MCU if this is the way it turns out, especially with a guy like Zemo's intellect and abilities. Let's look at his powers for a second, Sam, so we can see in the comic book lore, other than just a regular person, what he actually means. Because his role in Falcon and the Winter Soldier can be so much more than just some guy.
Yeah, so let's take a look, like you said, at his power abilities. And as you can see from the power grid, it doesn't look like he has too much, but some of these things are quite significant. So his main power, in fact his only power, is slowed aging. So like his father, Zemo makes use of Compound X serum to retain his youth and vitality despite his considerable chronological age. Now, the abilities is where things get a little interesting. So I'm not going to read all of them because some of them are not too relevant for the MCU. But this is one that is actually, these two up here are the serious contenders. So one,
Mhm.
Helmet is a strategic and tactical genius, as well as a brilliant organizer. He also has an impressive scientific and inventive ability, but not at the level that his father was.
We saw the application of that in Civil War, where
Mm-hmm.
he literally tore the Avengers apart. And at the end of the movie, he's like, "Did I fail? Did I actually fail?" When one of the guys was talking to him,
Mm-hmm.
he definitely succeeded. This was his plan. He was a master at
Yep.
planning things. So we know if he's coming in here, this is already planned 5 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
You know, waiting for. I mean, if he knew somehow that the blip would be reversed, genius level intellect. We don't know, but yeah, this it's everything's premeditated. He was sitting in a jail cell for so long, just waiting to come back and see a world without superheroes once again.
Yep. And before I actually touch on that, I just want to read the second thing, which is should be scary to anybody that's listening to it. He is a masterful combatant, surpassing his late father in physical skill and prowess, and is only slightly under the level of Captain America.
Wow.
Now, this guy is not under any kind of super soldier serum himself. In fact, his strength level is normal human male with intensive regular exercise.
Hey, that
He
boy
is
works
a
out.
he's a normal dude. He is not a super soldier. In a world of superheroes, he is just a guy. But he is a level 4 out of 7 on intelligence, a level 5 out of 7 in fighting ability. And you can see no energy powers, no superhuman speed, strength, or durability. You're right. He is a strategic and tactical genius. And I think the blip was actually a setback for his plan. I don't think
Mm,
anybody could have predicted giant purple titan comes down
yeah.
and snaps half of life out of existence. I think that is why he's kind of been largely out of the picture because there's this cosmic threat that everyone's attention was focused on. But a guy like Baron Zemo would not let a good crisis go to waste. He is
maybe
secretly planning in the background while
maybe
everything was happening there.
the inspiration for his mask they're gonna point as Thanos, that he's taking inspiration of going his own path, and no matter what other people are saying or doing to try and stop you, you're gonna continue doing you. Because I mean, wouldn't that be such an interesting way to tie this character with everything? Because why purple? Why the mask with the lines through it? It kind of reminds me of Thanos' chin
It
a
would
little
be
bit.
interesting, except for the fact that this is what his mask is like in the comics, which
Yeah, you
is
see the purple with the lines.
yeah, it's that was something established beforehand, but MCU likes to take creative liberties
Mm-hmm.
and tie things together that maybe weren't thought of in the comics. So that would be kind of a cute little nod
Yeah.
to that. But I don't think a guy like Baron Zemo would worship a Thanos figure. I think that he would probably think that he is above even the being that snapped away half of all of the life in the universe. But like I said, I don't think he would just kill off every single super soldier that he had. I don't think anyone like that would not have a plan B. I think that he was calculated and he just had to take a 5-year gap before executing his plan. And he used those 5 years certainly to
Yeah.
plan out his attack. And it's now we see Thanos kind of did all the hard work for him. He got rid of Steve Rogers. He got rid of Tony Stark. If there was ever a time for a guy like Baron Zemo with no superhuman strength or speed or agility, it would be now. The world is fractured.
It's now, baby.
Mm-hmm. The world is fractured. An entire city in New Jersey has just been mind controlled for weeks by some evil witch, right? And obviously, this happens before Spider-Man: Far From Home, so all the stuff with Mysterio hasn't yet sprung up
Yeah.
any issues. So really, obviously he doesn't know about that yet, but this would be the time to strike. This is where the world is at its most vulnerable for a threat like him, especially
Definitely.
because Thor is gone. Captain Marvel is off somewhere in the cosmos. So how many people are left on Earth to defend Earth?
As War Machine said, the world is broken.
Mm-hmm.
There is no better time to attack it right now,
Mm-hmm.
when the strongest heroes, the world's mightiest heroes, the Avengers, are in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys
Exactly.
so much for tuning into another episode of Breakdown Banter, where Sam and I break down everything you need to know about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Make sure to stay tuned and subscribe so you guys can watch our live watch parties. Again, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific. So make sure to stay tuned, click that bell, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Breakdown Banter.